Hi, everybody. Welcome to Magic Universe, and let's do another message from Universe. We're gonna start off here with this giant box, Rose Tarot. How's everybody doing? What kind of questions do you have for your spirit today, right now? Message from Universe. The color of the message is, where's my little card? Here it is. It's this nice bright yellow, and I'm reading you from a red. I'm seeing the energy of clarity, joy, happiness. Two cards. Oh, 10 of coins or 10 of pentacles. And one more. Oh my goodness. So I'm laughing because the 10 of coins is about abundance, prosperity, fulfillment, about the completion, about just pretty much manifestation of everything that you've ever wanted. So speaking of joy and happiness and clarity, that's all of that. A cornucopia of all the things. It also talks about family, right? Yeah, just like a very happy, if you talk about like a story, it's like the happy ending. It's like the happy everything. The Hierophant talks about teaching. It also talks about, well, it talks about rules and regulations, but like for this particular message right here, I'm actually seeing spirituality. So that's like spiritual knowing, knowledge, wisdom, teacher. Yeah. I'm actually seeing you as the teacher. I'm seeing you as the teacher in the middle. Maybe read together, I'm kind of even seeing this energy where it's like you're at this state where you feel complete within yourself. That these other people on the side right here, they're noticing your energy, and they're noticing something about you that's like stable and steady, and they're coming to you either for advice, or they're coming to you, talking to you like, well, what are you doing? There's something that you're doing that's working for you. And you, from that place of connection with your spirit, from that place of knowing, just speaking love to them, speaking wisdom to them. And yeah, that looks really, really cool. All right, Oracle of Shadows and Light. There's a lot of times when you look at a picture like this, right? There's this kind of hierarchy that you see where this person is like bigger and above these people that are kneeling and praying to him, right? But the energy that I'm getting, it's not really like that. It's like an equality. It's like you being in your wisdom and being able to see that everybody is on their own path, at their own pace, and everything is all right. So it's not even like you get to a point where you're like, oh, now that I have all this spiritual knowing, I'm better than everybody. It's not like that at all. It's like if you're really, really, really connected, and you're really in alignment with your spirit, and you open your eyes to see everybody, including yourself, like through the eyes of source energy, through the eyes of, like God, right? Then you really see that we are all source energy, and that to varying degrees of knowing it, right? I mean, some people may not know that they are God, but you in your connection will look at them that even when they don't know that they are God, that you know they are God. You know what I mean? So it's like you see the equality of everybody no matter where they are on their path. Okay. Because if you feel, if I'm not saying you, but like anybody who feels that they are superior to other people, they're not really in connection with their source energy. They're not really in alignment. That's this is what like other teachers maybe would call like ego, but I don't really use ego in the same way. Ego, I kind of feel like is the conscious mind, which is not a bad thing. So I don't use ego in a way where ego is lesser than the connected mind or the higher mind. I use ego, the word, as defined by it's just a focusing mechanism, and you can focus it on, in on higher thoughts, or you can focus it on lower thoughts, right? So you get to use the focusing mind however you want to. But like in terms of how other people usually use the word ego, they would say like if you feel any kind of superiority or inferiority in comparison to other people, you're not really in alignment either way, and they would call that like the ego mind. But I'm using the word now just so you understand, like in terms of how other people use it, that's what I'm talking about. But in this state where you have like the 10 of coins or 10 of pentacles with the Hierophant as interpreted by what I'm seeing right here, you're not feeling superior. It's more like you're really seeing through God's eyes. You're really seeing through source energy's eyes, and being able to see the all rightness of everybody, yourself included, their selves included, and where everybody is on their spiritual path, whether they're aware of it or not. And there's a prosperity to that, right? There's a wealth to that, to be able to see the okayness and the all rightness and the perfection of everybody exactly where they are. That's what I'm seeing in that spirituality, in that wisdom, the spiritual wisdom that you are. I'm going to say you are on the road to attaining, or actually in the process of attaining. Actually, that's a better way of saying it. In the process of attaining, in the attainment of the enlightenment, energy alignment. There's so many words. So many words mean the same thing, and then so many words are used. There are so many instances where people use the same word but mean different things. Okay. Ooh, a clockwork pumpkin. A wonderful idea, the aha moment. So in this state where you're in alignment with your spirit, with your true self, this is where all your ideas come from. This is where like the wisdom comes from. It's because you're actually streaming wisdom from infinite source, right? Infinite intelligence is streaming through you. And this is where all the genius comes from. This is where all the inventors get their ideas. This is where all the elite athletes get their strength and agility and their perfect timing and the way they move their body, their knowing of the space around them, right? That's what enlightenment and alignment is this state right here. You guys are doing really, really well. Whoever is watching this video, either you're in the process of attaining this is your goal, or you're there. This energy is like amazing. There's also a possibility that you're coming across this energy in some form. I would say during this month, in terms of time period that you're watching this video, you're going to come across this energy and you're going to recognize it. And be aware that even if you're not in this state all the time consistently, right? Because people come in and out of alignment all the time, and that's fine. It's the way physical life is, right? And but universe wants you to know that as you come across this energy during, say, like about like this month, within like 30 days, right? That you see it, you're going to recognize it, and you're going to be like, oh, that's that alignment, that's that enlightenment that this message is talking about, right? Know that in order for you to come across it, in order for you to recognize it, there's a part of you that is this, okay? You have to be a match to it in order to be able to witness it and recognize it, and then be able to see that even if you're not consistently in this state all the time, which nobody is, right? But consistently enough where you feel like I'm this prosperous in my spirituality, right? But even if you're not there, like, say even on the average, like most of the time, that the fact that you can even witness it and observe it and come across it and recognize it means you are so close to it that it's attainable by you, okay? And then when you are in this state, all of this information is going to come through you. All of these ideas, this creativity is going to come through you, and it's amazing. So you have this to look forward to. Okay, next one is the Mediumship training deck. Sometimes, like in the Hierophant, I'm actually seeing you are your own teacher. Because we were just talking about, like, there are times when we're all, we are all inconsistent with our energy states, right? So sometimes we're in alignment and sometimes we're not. Sometimes wisdom flows through us, right? And sometimes they don't. Sometimes you're kind of confused and lost, right? And so sometimes you're the asker of the question, sometimes you're the answerer of the question. And I'm seeing in this Hierophant that you can actually be both within yourself and to yourself. So say there are moments when you're asking a question that you don't know the answer to, just give it a moment. Give it a moment and then like maybe the next day, the next couple of days, then you have a good day and you come into alignment, you can then answer your own question, because then the answers to the questions that you have will come flowing through you like really easily. So there's no need to struggle. There's no need to like really look too hard for answers to things, because the answers will actually come streaming through you, through your own mind, through your own mouth. Because sometimes, like, have you ever had a conversation with somebody and you're just talking, you're not really thinking that much about what you're saying, but you're just talking, and all of a sudden these wise words just come out of your mouth, and you listen to it as these words are coming out of your mouth. You're like, where did they come from? And you're like, oh my gosh, whatever I just said to this other person is actually answering my own questions to myself. So that could very possibly happen for you. But pay attention to your own thoughts, to your own, like if you journal and stuff like that, pay attention to your own writing, because you may very well be answering your own questions. All right. So there's two coming from here. Oh, yay! Creative expression. That goes perfectly well with the wonderful idea right there. And we're going to read the back of that. Let me just get the second card. Be of service. All right. Okay, so let's read the back of this. Creativity is not only a way of expressing your personality and spirit to the outside world, it's also a great way of disconnecting your analytical mind so you can reconnect with the creative, expressive, and intuitive side of your brain. As children, we started our lives By freely using the more creative right side of our brain as we got older, as a result of schooling and societal conditioning, there was a tendency to pull away from our right side and rely more on the intellectual left side of our brain. Intuition floats on the edge of creativity. So try doing something creative, such as taking a class where you can practice sketching, drawing, writing, painting, coloring, making pottery, or whatever works for you. Being creative can be quite meditative in its own way. As you develop your psychic and mediumship potential, it can help you to train yourself to let go of logic and trust the information you're receiving, whether it's psychic information or messages from spirit. Every psychic or medium uses the vast imaginative nature of the right brain to achieve a higher altered state. This is what is known as the artist mind. This is the special place where communication is pure and authentic. You don't need to have any artistic ability to practice with creative methods and tools. Just making the effort and having fun would definitely help to stretch your spiritual abilities further than you could imagine. So a specific message is coming through for those of you who want to try this. I used to do this. I used to paint, like do intuitive, I guess, I don't know, I guess you can call it intuitive painting or like psychic painting. So what happened was like, I took a class and there was no instruction. The teacher just like gave us paint and a board, and we would just start painting. And I didn't really, the first couple of classes, like I didn't really understand what was going on. And eventually I was like, you know what, I'm just going to paint whatever I want. and then eventually, like, I stopped taking classes, but then I continued painting like at home on my own. And I noticed something, that when I painted whatever I wanted, however I wanted, it didn't have to be good, you know, like quote, look like anything, but I just painted, like, I felt like this color, I feel like doing this shape, and I would just like, you know, do whatever onto the board. And I noticed that the stuff that I painted, however it symbolically, whatever it symbolically represented to me, those things would show up in my life. So in a similar manner, like if you've ever done vision boards, you know how like you people often use vision boards for manifesting or something like that. What it actually does is like it focuses your energy, right? So you pick out pictures and then you make a collage or something like that of the things that you want to create in your life, and then you see those things show up in your life after however much time, right? So in a similar manner, what I did was like I didn't do it for the purpose of manifesting, but I just kind of did it, and then I noticed the results of it afterwards. Was that I just painted whatever I want, you know, symbols, colors, images, and then I put it up on a wall, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, maybe a couple months, 3 months afterwards, I would look at the painting and go, wait a minute, this stuff, like whatever it symbolically represented to me, what it meant to me, it showed up in my life. So I was like kind of precognitively painting out things that would happen later on. So that actually came up while I was reading this. So those of you who want to try that, give it a whirl and see what comes out and see what happens. And I actually, well, I'll share this with you. It's not a nice story in the sense that it didn't turn out so good, but for the person that I gave the painting to, but but it illustrates this story because, or this method that I have here, because it actually happened the way I painted it to turn out. So I had a friend who was getting married, right? And so I was like, oh, why don't I do one of my psychic paintings for him, right? And so I did a painting for him, and I never met his fiance, right? But I just knew the guy. I did a painting for him, and within the painting, I kind of saw his personality. Like, this isn't a guy that I know like super well. It was some guy that I had a few conversations with, and we were close enough where he actually invited me to his wedding, right? But we weren't like super, super close. Like we weren't best friends or anything like that. But, yeah, so so as I was painting this painting for him and his wife, his bride to be, I was seeing his personality, I was seeing her personality within the painting, and I actually did a reading for it, right? So along with the painting, I actually typed up a thing for him to read where I was like, oh, this is my gift for you, for your marriage or whatever. And I put it as nicely as I could, and but basically I kind of saw that there would be problems within their personalities in their relationship. But of course I didn't say that to him in the letter that I wrote him that went with the painting. But I was like, okay, well, this is his experience to have. Like we were saying, right here, wherever you are on your spiritual path is wherever you are, right? And you have to let people walk their own path, right? So I didn't try to talk him out of anything or try to over explain anything to him that I saw, because, when you have the ability to read energy, sometimes you don't say everything that you see to the people that you see it on, because they may or may not be ready to receive the information. They may not be asking for that information. And my friend totally was not asking for that information, right? I mean, he's happily on his way to wedded bliss. But anyway, so I saw that. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep this information to myself. I'm going to give him this nice painting that I did and give him the interpretation that tells about his personality and her personality. And that's it. I'm not going to draw any conclusions from that, right? So he received it. He loved it. And he thanked me and stuff like that. But so years later, which, we kind of lost touch years later, and then I heard from somebody else. I didn't even hear from him, but I heard from somebody else that their marriage didn't work out and they're separated. So I was like, oh, so I guess, whatever I saw in the painting was correct. But anyway, it's very accurate. So you may want to try this for yourself, for your own, not to predict anybody's lives or anything like that, but like just for you to figure yourself out, right? This may be a good way to see what's coming for you, what energies you might want to work on, what good stuff is coming for you. And I see, like, for you, I think a lot of good stuff is coming for you just because the Ten of Pentacles is out first. That's the first card that came out for you. And if you want to count this as the 11th pentacle, go right ahead. You can add that to there. But yeah, so that's just an interesting story. Okay, be of service. When you're called to awaken the medium within, it's also a calling to devote your life to a work of service. And so for some of you, this Hierophant right here might actually be calling you to some spiritual work, okay? Because this is a spiritual teacher card, the Hierophant. When you're called, okay, it's truly an honor and a blessing to serve Spirit. If you hold an open and pure heart, the blessings from Spirit in return will be bountiful and endless. The path of the medium should only be seen as a blessing and never a burden. The journey of development is not always easy or rewarding, but in serving Spirit from your heart, you'll be blessed with grace and support along your path, as Spirit will always be there for you. If this card is calling you, then it's time to start practicing what it means to be of service. Take time today to offer a random act of kindness, to volunteer for a cause that speaks to your heart, or to simply give a hug to someone you feel needs one. In serving those here in the living world, you're serving those in the spirit world. Remember that the main goal for Spirit is to bring healing, love, and light to the living. The spirit world will always love and support your compassion and kind work in the most unusual ways. Look for the beautiful blessings and signs from Spirit with gratitude, as it's Spirit's way to let you know you're moving in the right direction. All right, so this is a calling for somebody. It might not speak to all of you, or it might be like maybe a future message for some of you, because sometimes people will receive a calling and they won't answer until they're ready, and that's okay. Don't do something until you're ready for it. Okay, don't never force yourself, right? But yeah, so whoever this resonates for, just think about it, think about it, and maybe do a painting on it and see what comes out for you. What is your heart calling you to? Okay. Also, pay attention to your dreams for any ideas that might come up for creative expression, and any calls of service. Like if you dream about it, maybe that's also a message directly from your own spirit to you. And the next one is actually this one, the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. And going back to that story about my friend and how things didn't work out for him with that particular partner. And along that same line, when you look at other people's paths or even your own path, right? Like wherever you are is where you are, and where you are is perfect. Meaning, like, even though I always see it like this, just because you get together with somebody and it felt good at the time, but then later on maybe you guys grow in separate directions, that's okay, because it means you're giving each other the freedom to find the true one, right? And it also means when a relationship or something, like either it's something like a job, a career, some path, if that path doesn't work out for you, it doesn't mean that that you made a mistake, or that it was the wrong path to take. It means that maybe you needed to walk through that path in order to discover who you really are, right? To get to the next part of your life. So I always see it that way, where, if people need to break up for whatever reason, that is not a bad thing, and it wasn't a bad thing for you to have chosen that person in the first place, because you needed to learn some stuff with that person first before you and figure out who you really are, who they really are, and then you each learn from each other, and then you move on to the next thing, and that's perfect. Every part of your path is perfect, Okay. Throat chakra. For some of you, this throat chakra is talking about the creative expression being from your voice. So you might do like speaking, singing, even chanting, any kind of like musical. There are these artists that I know, musicians that I know, that use like bowls and stuff like that. There was one that I met, actually. His name, his creative name was Karma Moffat, I believe it was. And he does these like bowls, singing bowls, music with singing bowls. And it's amazing. Let me find out his name just so I get it right. And then you guys can go listen to him, because yeah, it is Karma Moffat. So he's this guy right here. And so he does like golden bowls, Tibetan bowls, and stuff like that. You can go. So some of you might. So I feel like within this throat chakra card, that it talks about expressing yourself in ways, even through writing. I feel like it's coming through the throat chakra. It's communication, through your communication space. So speaking, singing, writing, maybe through some kind of music, or chanting. And I feel like in doing that, it's actually going to also help you open up your third eye, your sixth chakra. Because the throat chakra is the fifth chakra, so the one above it in the middle of your forehead. I feel like in opening this up, you're also going to open up your sixth chakra, and then that's going to help you to see, if you decide to do the painting, it's going to help you see visions in your paintings. Really cool. So yeah, so some of you, like if your spiritual teaching involves speaking, like doing seminars, workshops, things like that, maybe even like one-on-one type coaching sessions through speaking, right? Through some kind of communication like that. Some of you might be doing guided meditations, speaking through the meditation, or like guided imagery sessions. I'm also seeing like hypnosis. So however that resonates with you, and for different ones of you, it might be different things. Okay, but those are just some suggestions that are coming up to me right now that I'm seeing in this card right here. Some of you, if you're not feeling that you can be a teacher of the things that I just mentioned, the methodologies that I just mentioned, some of you maybe actually be a receiver of it. Okay, so you might be the receiver of service, which means maybe you want to go get a hypnosis session from a hypnotist. Okay, and that's gonna help you through whatever it is that you have a question on. And for some of you, in receiving the service, it might actually guide you towards a path to becoming a teacher of it as well. So you might actually try something, like it so much, and go, oh, I want to learn this for myself, and then be the offerer of the service after you learn it. Okay. And then the next one is Wisdom of the Oracle. Within this message today, I'm feeling a lot of like energy about like openness, opportunity. It's kind of like excitement about what's in store for you, or not even, I mean, yes, in store for you, but also like this kind of like open road in front of you, going, oh my gosh, there's so many possibilities. I'm so excited for it. All the possibilities that are out there for me. That's kind of the energy that I'm feeling from here. Similar to, like, say, when you graduate from school, either high school or college or something like that, and it's like, this is the rest of your life. Like, it's open to you, like whatever you want to do. That kind of really open feeling, all the possibilities. That's what it feels like. It's really happy. Yeah, I'm really seeing that Ten of Pentacles energy. Okay. Here and now. The door is open for you. So here you are on your egg that hasn't hatched yet. You're full of possibility, full of love, right? All those little hearts. And like all the stuff that you've gone through, and here's your future looking ahead. We were just talking about all the possibilities of the future, and you're right here. And it's like, what do you want to do? Who are you, and what do you want to do? What's in this egg for you? What is going to hatch for you? And being joyful in this moment right now. And yeah, it's like gratitude for the present, but then also like so much exhilaration for what's coming. And it's not even like, yeah, it is what's coming, but it's like, what are you going to? It's both. It's both what's coming and what are you going to, because it's your choice, right? And being so happy with the stuff that had gone on before that led you up to this point, that's giving you this future. Thank you, the past. Thank the past. And celebrating the present. Are some of you having birthdays? I'm wondering, because I'm kind of seeing a little bit of that energy right there. Yeah. Celebrating, even if you're not having a birthday, I kind of think of like every day is my birthday. Every morning that I wake up, because I mean, if you think about it, like, why is your birthday on that day? It's because humans decided to count years, right? I mean, they made it up themselves in terms of labeling time. So it's kind of random, don't you think? Well, couldn't every day be your birthday, right? Couldn't every day be a day I've been here on this in this physical body and this identity for this many days, this many hours, this many minutes, and you can celebrate every one of those, and not just this many years, right? You can celebrate however whatever increment of time that you want. And I feel like there's some kind of celebration of yourself being right here right now, and loving yourself and loving all that has gone on and all that is coming, and loving all of it, the whole timeline, and loving you because you're here. Your existence matters. Okay. And so the last deck we have is my Hello Kitty deck. Okay. Oh, Five of Pentacles. That's almost kind of like the opposite of the Ten of Coins. The Ten of Pentacles. King of Coins. And a Queen of Swords. Okay. So this talks about being in a place of not having everything that you want, like being in a place of not being able to see the prosperity in you. So if this, I don't really see this as a current time energy. I mean, for some of you this may be current, but I'm seeing for most of you it's probably like a past time energy, because we're talking about the here and now, right? And the past, being grateful for the past that brought you to the present, and that's bringing you the future. So I kind of feel like being able to integrate the energy of not having something, or being in the question mode, or being in the confused mode of not knowing something, right? To then knowing, to then having the answer, which is the Hierophant right here, which is the Ten of Coins right here, being the King of Coins. Like, you've mastered it. Like, I got it. All of the stuff that's in the past, all of the trials and tribulations, all of the questions that I asked, I let it in, and now I have the answer, and now I'm stable. Now I know. Now I have the clarity. We're talking about the clarity in that yellow energy, right? And really being able to see through, because we were talking about right here where when you're in that level of alignment, enlightenment, where wisdom is pouring through you, and then being able to see how wherever you are, either you or another person, either you looking at your own life, or you looking at another person's life, where they're at a place in their path where they're not seeing their godness, right? That's right here, the Five of Pentacles. But you in your wisdom can look at that and not be fazed by it, and not feel sorry for them, and because you see that, they're just where they are, but you see the fullness of who they are. You see with clarity who they really are. You see the godness in them, even if they don't see it for themselves, right? And you get to see in their future this is a possibility in their future. This clarity is a possibility. This really, really stable energy is a possibility. So you don't feel bad for them at all, because you see like them in their asking place is actually creating these energies in their future. And in their future, meaning like unmanifested yet, but in their vibrational present time, it actually already exists. So it's like however much lack or confusion or feeling lost that a person feels, is actually creating the answers, creating the stability, creating the abundance, creating the wealth that's held for them vibrationally until they're able to let it in. So when, wherever you are, this present time moves, right? And as this present time where you are here, as this moves along and you get to experience the wealth and prosperity, as you get to experience the masterful clarity and full reception of spirit. It's just when you're in this state of alignment, when you look upon this, you don't feel bad for themselves. And then in the same manner, when you're in this place of alignment and clarity, if you look upon your own life, whether this is happening in the past or even if it's happening in the present time where you're feeling lack, you're not afraid of it. You realize, oh, you know what, it's just what's happening right now and in the present moment, but I know that I'm creating this at the same time that I'm experiencing this in the physical. I'm creating this energetically, I'm creating this energetically, I'm creating the 10 of coins energetically, and this is all here for me. And then you don't get scared when you do experience any kind of Five of Pentacles moments where things aren't going, so well for you physically. So it's kind of like being in that place of, even when you get out of alignment and we were talking about in the beginning, like you're not always in God mode. You're not always consistently there. So in those inconsistencies where you're experiencing this, you don't get afraid of it, because you remember, even if you're not feeling it in the moment, you remember those moments of alignment, and you're like, I remember the wisdom streaming through me. It might not be streaming through me at this exact moment right now, but I remember when it did, and in those moments I was not afraid. So then when you actually do get into these inconsistent moments, or in these moments of inconsistent alignment, and you're experiencing this in your life, you're not afraid of it, because then you know that you are actually a master of your pentacles and you're a master of your swords, right? So wherever this present time is, you can be grateful and appreciative of all of it, and this knowing stays with you. The more you experience this wisdom flowing through you, even when you temporarily kind of like squeeze it out for a moment where you're not experiencing the wisdom, your mind will remember it and go, oh, maybe I'm crying right now, maybe I'm feeling bad right now, but I remember the moments when I felt strong, and I know that this is temporary, and that this is who I really am, and it'll come back. This will pass. This is temporary, and this will pass. Okay? So I love how, and then so like, because this is coming out the way it did, where most of the cards is talking about the stability, and most of the cards is talking about teaching and being of service. This might not actually be you, this Five of Pentacles. This might be you looking at your past, but then this might also be somebody that you can be of service to, okay? Where it's somebody that you're looking upon, and they're in a point of their path where they're not seeing their godness, and you can guide them, you can help them through. That's kind of what I'm seeing. But even, and also some of the best things about teachers is that they too have a past, right? That they too have gone through what you have gone through. and they knew how to get out of it. And so if you're seeing somebody else who's going through this and you're like, yeah, I remember being there. I remember, and I remember how I got out of it, and how, and then you also know that you're not always in that high place, and then you fluctuate. And so if you ever get down on this, into this space again, you're not afraid of it, and you can come out of it. You'll know that it's temporary and it'll pass, and you can get out of it. So I kind of feel like it's about that kind of being stable enough so that any fluctuations don't scare you, whether you're looking upon yourself or whether you're looking upon somebody else's experience right there. Alrighty. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.